Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin Dennison. Along with me, per usual, is Atomic Tommy. How you doing?
Disappointed.
You know, it's a rough night.
It's been a rough,
You know what?
It's been a rough 24 hours.
Let's dive in and eat ugly frog first. First off, Vikings. What the hell? You know, we've been through this before. You know, I'm significantly older than you are, Atomic Tommy, and I got to tell you.
Yeah.
We always have that in the back of our mind is, are the Vikings going to do this again and just rip our hearts out? Now, the only outlier here is that the Vikings are still in the playoffs, so they do have another chance to redeem themselves.
Season is not technically over yet. You know?
But my God, it sure felt like it last night, the way they played ass. I mean,
that was terrible.
No offense.
Just embarrassing.
Kevin, a junior high coach knows to dink and dunk when your quarterback is getting assaulted. Like Darnold was. You know Darnold was playing above his mind anyway. But when he was getting just constant pressure like that, everybody knows to run a few slants once in a while. And a few run a screen once in a while. You know, dink and dunk, short yardage. You don't need to go deep every time.
And it was, that's the thing. Like, I don't really want to put it all on Darnold. You know, like, he threw the ball a lot to Justin Jefferson. And a lot of those throws were terrible, but we've seen Justin Jefferson make those catches. You know, we could say, hey, JJ, make that catch.
But Darnold overthrew him a lot.
Well, Darnold overthrew him a lot. I mean,
Jefferson was open a few times, and he just overthrew him. And he was under duress.
Right, I'm not saying, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, Darnold, he threw some shitty throws, but at the end of the day, all players have to deliver. JJ's got to make that catch. Van Ginkel has to make that pick six. You know what I mean? It's like things have to do that. And, I don't really understand what's going on with like the play calls from Kevin O'Connell, like trying to match Dan Campbell's like go for it on fourth.
And then the one time he should have gone for it on fourth, he chose to kick the field goal.
He walked Will Reichert out there for a 50-yard field goal.
What the hell are you doing?
Like, what is that?
We know kicks are a curse in Minnesota. We can't ever have a good kicking game. And then we kick it out of bounds and just give them from the 40-yard line. Is it the new kicking rule hasn't helped out everybody already, where they already started halfway to midfield?
Yeah.
You might as I don't know what that either way. The offense, Kevin O'Connell, you played like shit. Defense, good for you. You came to play. You got your asses worn out by the fourth quarter. I don't blame you. I would have just let Gibbs run through me too, because the defense came to play. They played well for a solid 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, they were gassed, trying to bail out the offense. The offense and the coaching sucked. You got outcoached. You got outplayed at every level. So anyway, throw it away. We'll give you another shot. And let's see how we do with the Rams and try to get back at Detroit. I mean, my God.
We still got those Chiefs.
Still got the Chiefs. There is a lot of good football teams.
There is.
This is going to be an interesting playoffs.
Sunday wasn't all bad because the Packers lost.
Yeah, Packers got...
Sunday wasn't all bad.
Even though it didn't mean anything with the Packers still, but they were stupid. They had nothing to play for.
No, the Packers. And, I mean, Christian Watson's out for the season. Love got hurt, although I think Love will be fine. But
good for the Bears for beating the Green Bay in their home field. Good. It's always fun to see the Packers lose.
It's a nice end for the Bears season, too, end on a win.
Yeah, and if the Vikings are going to lose, at least Green Bay suck, too.
Yeah, and before anybody makes a comment about the Chiefs game, that little, 35-zip from the Broncos, I take that as a win, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So they
didn't even play their starters.
They didn't even play the starters. Nope.
They called basically a vanilla defense and a vanilla offense.
Pulled some people off the side of the road.
They weren't gonna show anything.
No.
So they just showed up. They got their paychecks and they're like, all right, we'll see it when it's time to play for real.
Yep. Pretty much.
But man, I just had to vent that frustration. It's not personal, Kev. You've been a good coach for the Vikings. I don't want to fire you, but my gosh, man, let's fix that shit, huh? And Darnold, you're better than that, man. Suck it. You're 8 feet tall, for God's sake. Throw the ball down a little bit. You're good. All right, Vikings rhythm and wrap up is over.
Yep.
That's enough of that wash. Let's get out of here with that. Let's talk about some cool comic stuff. Let's talk about what you read and what we have to look forward to coming out.
Yeah, we there are a couple things. First, let's talk about Justice League, the Atom Project I released last week. Is it the most exciting thing on the shelf? No. Is it the best? No. But you know what? I gotta give them props. Credit where credit is due, because It's connected. It's following up on stories that are present in all DC titles. It's following up on trends and problems and issues that we've seen characters try and solve, and now it's getting its own story to wrap it up. Unfortunately, not something you see done in comics all that often anymore. So it's nice to actually see some resolution and some consistency in these titles. I've been really enjoying, and you could probably agree, enjoying all of the all-in DC stuff. My favorite probably has been Justice League. Justice League's been solid, but have you noticed any of the sort of soft rebooted titles that you think your favorite is?
Well, All In both has action. Action Comics has been good with All In. Of course, Wonder Woman has All In and Absolute. Batman has All In and Absolute. Superman has All In and Absolute. So the All In universe has really encompassed a lot of good things with all the titles, and then have pinpointed it down with the Absolute series, which has been even better.
Yeah.
So I think that by what they're doing with the general overall All In, and then creating the microcosm of the Absolute, I think they've done a good job with that new formula, and I think it really has brought continuity to all the comics. It makes you want to read more than one title, and so I think they have a selling point there where they're engaging the reader to pick up other titles and encourage an upsell, which is great for the comic book store. It's great for the company, and maybe they figured out some capitalism this year, which is good.
Maybe they figure out how to sell a comic book. Yeah, no kidding. Marvel, though. We do have a Marvel book I want to mention briefly, and that's Deadpool and Wolverine. I really don't have anything to say about it other than, ugh. And it's not that the book was bad or anything.
It's not that the characters suck. It's not this bad, but now you're kind of riding the wave of Star Wars where you're going to cause some fatigue on the fandom.
Yeah.
And give it a break now. Let's pull away from it for a few months and then get back to it.
It's not that the book was bad or anything. I don't have any massive issues with the writing or the art or whatever, but man, I'm kind of tired of Deadpool, like you said. I think Disney kind of has a problem where anytime there's a movie coming out, their whole release schedule stops dead because of it, and it just transforms into whatever the character in the movie is. And I get it, the popularity capitalizing on it, but I mean, enough is enough. You know what I mean? I don't think we don't need this much. I mean, we've spent how many months now with a very large Deadpool focus, and I don't think I think we calmed down a little.
Well, they did it best in Spaceballs. Merchandising.
That is right. That is right.
Deadpool the breakfast cereal. Deadpool the lunchbox. Deadpool the flamethrower. That kids love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just Deadpool and Wolverine us out. It's kind of like give it a break. They're awesome characters. They're awesome toys. They're awesome figures. But you can only do Wolverine so much.
Yeah, no kidding. And that is the ultimate problem. You can only do Wolverine so much. And sometimes it is a little too much. But with that, we have to talk about what's coming up this week. Now we got a few things to talk about. First, Magic #1. Another X-Men title releasing. Not a character I would usually talk about or I would usually be that interested in. But we have to talk about it because it is being written by a local writer in Minnesota. Her name is Ashley Allen. She's done some X-Men stuff before, a few things over at DC, but she's here with an ongoing. If you're looking to check out some local talent, some local creators who have made it into Marvel, pick up Magic #1. That releases this week. Coming up now next, Daredevil, Unleash Hell #1. Almost forgot the title there, but we locked in. Daredevil, Red Band title. The Red Band stuff has been hit or miss for a lot of people, myself included. I'm not particularly have been too fond of it. It's really not bloody enough. It doesn't go far enough with the Red Band concept. I really hope that Daredevil can be the catalyst to change that.
He wants a bloody mess, people.
I do. I really do. I mean, Deadpool, they've given these Red Band titles to Wolverine, Blade, Werewolf by Night, and I've checked out the number. I read Wolverine Revenge. Great title. Not violent enough. You know what I mean? They do the Red Band, they do the regular, and they're really not that different. Really not that different. They did that with Blood Hunt. Really not that different, guys. I really hope Daredevil can capitalize on the Red Band and really bring it home with a nice read. I'm looking forward to They'll Love Me Some Daredevil.
It's a Marvel gimmick, but hopefully they actually do something a little more nasty with it. So it was worthy of the Red Band cover.
Yeah, it needs to be worthy of the higher price and the the aura that would come with a Red Band book. Also releasing what I'm most excited for, Aquaman #1. Aquaman's back, all in, with another banger on the shelf, written by Jeremy Adams, a DC writer that has done some great work on Flash, doing great work currently on Green Lantern, and is here now with Aquaman, so we have to check that out.
That should be good. Well, let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Let's talk about the Spider-Man show.
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man dropped a trailer last week. We did not talk about it last week because of the new year. We had other stuff going on, but we have to circle back and we have to talk about it now because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not too thrilled about that trailer, and I'm a little concerned about this show.
Usually everything in the Spider-Man universe, whether it was Spider-Verse or Amazing Spider-Man or Spider-Man Homecoming, they've all been either home runs or doubles. They've been pretty good. So what about this particular one concerns you that it might not be as good as all the other Spider-Verse stuff that's been out there in the either MCU or Sony or Spider-Verse or...
Well, ultimately there's a couple of things. One, the animation. The animation, from the looks of this trailer, is kind of laughable. I mean, it's... we live in an era right now where animation is coming to the forefront of everything, all entertainment. I mean, manga is super popular, and in American entertainment's urge to capitalize on that popularity and compete with it, animation is becoming very popular and driving towards the center of American entertainment. I mean, things like the Spider-Verse movies, the Turtles movie, Transformers 1, Arcane on Netflix, right? These incredible animated projects, and the more that releases, the more we see different types of animation work its way into entertainment. And even Marvel has X-Men 97, which was an amazing show. And everybody's kind of going around trying to find their own animation style so they can reflect something and make something animated that's unique to them. Netflix, Sony, even James Gunn with Creature Commandos, they're all trying to really nail in their own animation style that sets them apart because everybody's doing it. And Marvel has their own style. Again, the 97, that mix between that retro 90s X-Men with a modern twist. It was great. It was perfect. They didn't need to change anything. They could have used it for everything. They even have the What If animation style, which isn't my favorite, but it's better than whatever this is. I mean, it's just, when you have animation like X-Men 97 and like What If and coming soon Marvel Zombies,
you should be able to splice it together.
Well, it should be consistent, and it's hard to justify. I get it, again, wanting to do new things with animation, wanting to make it look distinct. I get it. But it's hard to defend animation that just doesn't look good when you've done it good before, when you've done it in the same realm. I mean, these are not from the studio that brought you. X-Men 97 is literally forefront on the trailer. It's hard to defend bad animation like this when it's being done by people who've done it good before. Yeah. So I'm not happy with the animation. Honestly, too, the dialogue
sucks.
The dialogue was not great in the trailer. It did not really have a good showing. I get it.
But it was just a trailer.
It's just a trailer. I'm going to give it a chance. But I get it. It's made for a younger audience. But I'm going to tell you guys what I told our very own Dan, the State Farm man, when we were talking about it in the shop. And that is, just because it's made for a younger audience doesn't mean it has to suck.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I don't know if they were going for a metaverse thing with your animation that you were talking about earlier. I don't know if it was more like a metaverse thing or I don't know what the hell they were doing. It's not the animation we're used to.
No, I think it just wanted to be distinct. It didn't want to follow the animation style of 97 or What If.
They need to keep it with the 97 model because that's the one everybody likes.
Or even the What If, because the What If
was good too. But man,
it's anthology stories and What If. It's anthology stories with Marvel Zombies. You don't need to change it or make it look weird here. I was not a fan of it. But on to like the kids thing for a second. I mean, the Spider-Verse films are can be made, enjoyed, tailored, viewed by younger audiences. These are not exclusively, long-term Spider-Man films. I mean, these movies are for younger audiences. The difference is that the Spider-Verse films are also great stories for everybody, right? It's a movie for younger viewers just as much as it's a movie for lifelong Spider-Man fans and fans of all ages. Skeleton Crew, another great example of that. A show that is absolutely tailored for a younger audience, but can be viewed and enjoyed by an audience or a Star Wars fan of any age, right? Just because it's made for a younger audience doesn't mean it has to suck. And I think a lot of people use it's for a younger audience as a cop-out to just not discuss it or to like defend it. When I don't know, man. I don't know why they showed a relatively bad-looking homemade suit that immediately like a future Foundation suit. I don't know why they're
just appears. Here's my suit that sucks. Oh, look, I got a new suit.
They're saving like the classic red and blue probably for the end, for the big reveal, but you don't need to do that. We've all seen the suit before. We don't need an 8-episode follow-up of Spider-Man's origin. It would be different if this was Tom Holland, what it was originally supposed to be, which is a prelude origin to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but it isn't. It's a separate universe Spider-Man. So, like, what are we doing here? I mean, take James Gunn's advice. We don't need to see the origin for the 80 millionth time for a Spider-Man that we will probably never see again after this. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to check it out, but I do not have high hopes.
Maybe we'll have low expectations for the show. Maybe we'll get through the episodes and be like, hey, that wasn't so bad after all.
I hope so. I really do.
We'll watch it. We'll give you our take on it. We've gone over the previews. You take a look at the previews. Let us know what you think of the previews. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe. We really need your support on the show, and we love having you here. So with that, as we tie into it, let's tie into the shout-outs right now as we do the like and subscribe. Shout out to all our subscribers and supporters. We're going to do a special shout-out now to Matt and JD. Shout out to you guys, Dan, the State Farm Man, and Jimmy. We wanted to give you guys a special shout-out. Jimmy to Sousa. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. We look forward to seeing you in the store next week. Caleb, David, a.k.a. Superman. Having a great new year so far. Off to a great start. David, thanks for supporting the channel. Mark, Brian. Hi, Mark. Jeff, Ryan, Jim, Liz, Eli. How you doing out there? Got your Wolverine and Deadpool #1 added to subscriber list. Thanks for getting that in. The Gossage family, of course, as usual, we want to thank you guys for supporting the channel. Pat, Sydney, Jeff, Dan, Shanice, Larry, Rick, and Melissa. Rick and Melissa, always thank you for our Up North contingent up there supporting the brand. We love all you guys. If you guys want to be part of the shop, make sure you email or send us a note that you want to be part of the shop. We will add you to the list. But until then, you guys all have a great week, and we will see you next time.
See ya.